We are back. 2 weeks in the making, Craig. Welcome back.
Yep.
Yeah, glad to have you. We did not get an episode out last week. Craig was out of town. It didn't work out, but that's okay. We stored up lots of good stuff for this time. Got a lot to talk about in this episode. We're going to start. One of the things we're going to do is we're going to do our uncut. We haven't done that in a couple of weeks. I've got a trivia question. I got a couple of fun things for you that I'm going to do. You are going to, I think you have a did you know for me.
Right.
And I'm also going to do we haven't done the 90s on our hit singles yet, where I go back 40 years, 50 years. We've had fun with that. UK top 10, US top 10. I don't think we've done the 90s yet. So I'm going to do 1995. We'll see where that takes us. There's probably a lot of interesting things in the top 10 singles from the 90s that maybe we don't even know or remember. So that'll be kind of fun. But before we start that, one thing, Craig, I was at the bookstore the other day. I was at Barnes and Noble. I try to go in there. If I'm driving by there, I'll swing in. I like to see what music magazines they have, what books they have. I've been known to buy a book or two, as you know, so that's not a big surprise. But there's a book out. Evan Dando has a book out, Rumors of My Demise. Were you aware of that?
Nope.
Just came out, I think, in the last couple of weeks. And then, of course, Cameron Crowe has a autobiography coming out that I really want to read. That one's, of course, going to be a combination of film and music. But I think that's going to be a really exciting one. But when I looked at the Evan Dando book, I thought, okay, that's a book I really, truly want to read. And that got me down the path of thinking about what are my favorite books that I've ever read that are music related, biographies. There's a couple that are a little more than biographies. So I've got a dozen for you here. And this isn't a full list. This was just really thinking about more in the past 4 or 5 years. What are my favorite music related books? So I'm going to run through them here. The first one that's really close to my memory because I read it earlier this year is Brothers by Alex Van Halen. I just thought it was a great book. I thought it was a really good idea for Alex to tell the story about his brother and about their brotherhood and about the band. And I really enjoyed Alex's writing style. Next up, Testimony by Robbie Robertson. Really, really good book about his career and about the band. I love the band so much, and reading his book was just really cool. I have to say, I didn't read the last couple of chapters. Once I got through the band and the breakup, and then what he did right after the breakup, that was a stopping off point for me. If I'm being honest, I wasn't as interested in the last couple of chapters. Next up for me, just read this earlier this year, The Living Years by Mike Rutherford. I didn't think that I would necessarily love that book as much as I did because I thought maybe Phil Collins telling the story about Genesis or Peter Gabriel might be more interesting. But actually, I think Mike Rutherford was the perfect storyteller for Genesis because he was there from the beginning till the end, and he was always a little bit in the background.
Right.
Not the focal point of the band for certain. But then he also had the interesting story with Mike and the Mechanics and all that. Just really, really good book. And I really have a great appreciation for Mike Rutherford now. The next one, I know you're going to love this. I don't know if you've read this book, A Fast Ride Out of Here by Pete Way. Great book.
No.
Crazy.
All right.
I mean, for anyone, Craig knows exactly who I'm talking about. Kev knows who I'm talking about. Pete Way, UFO, bass player. Just, man, those guys, they were pretty wild. And Pete Way in particular lived a pretty hard charging life with drugs and alcohol. And he talks a lot about that. Really, really good read, though. Speaking of drugs and alcohol, Greg Allman, My Cross to Bear, what an amazing book. Just, he truly bared his soul. He told things about himself and his drinking problem that I was amazed that he opened up so much about. Then a book that you and I both have read, Hard to Handle by Steve Gorman.
Great.
drummer for the Black Crowes.
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorite music books, at least in recent memory?
Definitely in recent memory, yeah. Super easy to read. Read that in a weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Such a great read. What a great another example of sometimes the best storyteller is someone who's not the focal point of the band. Steve Gorman, being the drummer, tells the best story of the Black Crowes, tells it better than the Robinson brothers would, because their story might be more delusional. I think Steve was putting it all out there, saying, "This is how my observation of the band." I think it was perfect the way he told the story.
Yeah.
My Effin' Life by Geddy Lee, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal for anyone that loves Rush. Trouble Boys, which is the story of the Replacements by Bob Mayer. Amazing book. You can't believe some of the things that those guys did and the way they just wasted money and even their career to a degree, but it is a very entertaining read. Last couple here. The name of this band is REM. I read earlier this year by Peter Ames Carroll. Excellent book for anyone that loves REM. Highly recommended. A couple of years ago, I read Petty, the biography by Warren Zanes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the best biography, music biography, not auto, but biography, that maybe the best I've ever read. Warren Zanes did a really incredible job of capturing Tom Petty and his entire life and career. The Storyteller by Dave Grohl, one of the best autobiographies I've ever read. Just what a story, from punk days to Nirvana to Foo Fighters. And then last but not least, another example of a non-focal point of a band telling a great story is Heaven and Hell by Don Felder, telling the story of the Eagles. And just the Eagles, between Don Henley and Glenn Frey running that band, having Felder sort of in the background telling the story, is really incredible. So that's my dozen books that I've read in the last year or two that I absolutely love. Wanted to share that with the listeners in case if you're going to the beach, although now it's starting to get too cold, but you're going to the beach, you're going on vacation, Christmas vacation, or if you want a Christmas present for this year, any of those books would be great. And Craig, one of the things that I thought also I want to do later this year, I'm going to build a list of the top 10 Christmas gifts for music lovers. So for anyone listening who has a family member or friend who's a big music lover, I'm going to put together mostly newer stuff, but a list of 10 great gift ideas that are music related.
Cool.
So I'll do that later this year. Because one of the things, Craig, I don't have a top 10 this year for albums. I know you do it every year and keep up with it. I haven't listened to enough new music. I've listened to a lot of music this year, but I've been going back in time a lot on music. I don't even think I have a top 10 list for this year. So maybe you do a top 10 list of your favorite records of 2025, and I do a top 10 list of Christmas holiday gift ideas for the music lover.
Yeah, I could do that. I'll probably do more than a top 10, but yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. That'll be very interesting. Okay. I have a trivia question for you. And speaking of, we were talking about Rush a minute ago and the Geddy Lee biography. I actually saw they're already starting to do pre-order on the upcoming Rush tour. And I was looking at the Atlanta dates that were coming up, it's well over a year in advance. But I went to their website to look at it. And when I first got to the website, I was looking at it and I thought, why are all these shows in Ontario? Good grief. They're doing 20 or 30 shows in a row. And then I realized the Rush website defaults to the very first tour, the Rush debut album tour.
Oh, yeah.
And so then I started flipping down and it was Ontario, all the way down the line. And I thought, I wonder where the first place in the US that they played on their first tour is. Do you want to guess the state? The state would be pretty easy to guess. The city I was a little surprised with. So first US city that Rush played in on their first tour.
California?
No?
New York,
Close. Think about Toronto and Canada.
Michigan.
Yep.
Okay. Um,
It's not Detroit. That's what surprised me.
Kalamazoo,
No,
Grand Rapids.
no, but you're really warm. You're in the right vicinity. It's Lansing.
Oh, wow. All right.
Kevin's gonna love that.
Cool.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Later that year, they actually made it down south. They did shows in Atlanta. I think they did 3 consecutive nights in Atlanta in the 1974 tour. And I'm really curious to see. They didn't show the venue, but it'd be very interesting to see where did Rush play in Atlanta in 1974 on that first album tour. I got to do some digging on that. So anyway, I thought that was interesting that Lansing, Michigan was their first tour stop in the U.S.
Nice.
All right, you have a well. Did you know for me?
Yeah. So you're a baseball guy.
Yep.
Have you been watching the World Series this year?
I have. I watched some of the game last night. We're recording this on Wednesday, so I watched the Tuesday night game, Game 4. Yeah, Game 4. Yep. I missed the big 18 inning one though.
Well, speaking of, let's just get it out of the way. Brad Paisley has sung the national anthem on 4 different occasions. Did you know that every single game went to extra innings?
Wow.
2017, they're all at Chavez Ravine because he's obviously a big Dodgers guy.
Yeah.
2017, the game 2, Houston Astros beat the Dodgers 7-6 in 11 innings. 2018, following year, game 3, Dodgers beat the Boston Red Sox 3-2 in 18 innings. So 2 of these have gone 18 innings. 2024 last year, it was game 1. Dodgers beat the New York Yankees 6-3 in 10 innings. And of course, game 3, Dodgers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 6-5 in 18 innings. So 4 of his appearances, all 4 of them went to extra innings. So if you see Brad Paisley on the bill, bring a snack, bring a midnight snack because it's going to be a minute.
Yeah, maybe drink some coffee. Might be a good suggestion.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And slow down on the beers because
yeah. No,
you would be absolutely hammered by the end of the night of an 18 inning game.
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Crazy.
Incredible trivia. Yeah. Love that. Man. Yeah, it's fun. I love watching the World Series. It's going to be another uh, I don't know. They're playing tonight or are they skipping tonight? They're playing tomorrow night. They go back.
They're playing tonight. I think as we speak, we're recording on Wednesday. The Blue Jays are up, so
Okay.
they
Game
tied
5.
it. They tied it with game 4, 2-2. So the series is tied 2-2, and game 5 right now. Blue Jays are looking good. I thought for sure after that 18 inning game that the Dodgers had it, but good for the Blue Jays, man. We need somebody else to win this thing other than LA.
Yeah, I would like to see Toronto win it. I like the underdog stuff. LA Dodgers have had so many opportunities through the years. The Jays haven't.
Yep.
And hey, I love those powder blue uniforms, those retro old school Blue Jays uniforms they wore last night. Awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely awesome.
Always been a fan of them and the Astros.
Yeah.
The Astros,
Yeah,
but the Expos. The
Expos.
Expos were one of my favorite unis. Nothing to me beats. I mean, I know this is baseball cast, but nothing to me beats the Milwaukee Brewers. I think the Milwaukee Brewers hat might be the best hat in any sport known to man. I love that hat, but I was a big Blue Jays and a big Expos fan. And I got a friend here locally. He's from Canada. I think he might be from Montreal. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's a big Blue Jays guy, so I'm excited for him.
I love the Expos. Any combination of that sort of red, blue, white uniform style, I love.
Yep.
I'll also say, speaking of uniforms, in my opinion, the best uniforms in baseball, but it's college baseball, Ole Miss.
Oh, I'd say that for football too. I think Ole Miss the powder blue, those baby, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, when they do that sort of retro St. Louis Cardinals
Oh,
uniform sometimes. That
absolutely.
is
That's classic.
very, yeah, yeah. I was actually talking to some guys that played baseball at Ole Miss recently after the Georgia Ole Miss game, and I was saying to them, man, you I'm a Georgia fan, but you guys got you guys win on the uniform thing because those baseball uniforms are killer. They got a kick out of that from a Georgia guy. All right, I have a couple other things I was going to mention to you. So I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but I did this website a while ago and it's still up. It's called listappeal.com if anyone wants to go check it out. I think I posted 100 articles and I didn't use AI. This was before AI. I went and just did a lot of, Craig knows I like to do rabbit hole digging and researching. But I thought this was interesting, Craig. I was looking back at it recently and I did this one called Famous Second Acts in Rock Music. And the reason I'm thinking about this is I heard, I saw a snippet of this somewhere, but I think the band Sugar might be getting back together.
They are. Yep.
Yeah. So they're going to have, I guess, a new music and a tour, which I'm so excited about. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Bar none, my
and,
favorite Bob Mold project. Bar none.
bar none. Better. Some people, the traditionalists, will argue Husker Du or maybe even his solo stuff, but for me, I'm with you. Sugar was just perfect. So back in the day, I did a post called "Famous Second Acts in Rock Music," where I look at artists that left the original band that made them famous to start a new band, and in some cases, better band. So,
Mm.
first example is Sugar. That was the first one that I had in my write up was Bob Mould after doing Husker Du, after doing his solo stuff. Also, Crowded House because
Easily. Yeah.
Neil Finn, of course, joined his brother Tim in Split Ends. And when Split Ends split up, yes, I said that on purpose. When they split up, he started Crowded House. And some people will say, well, I like Split Ends better than Crowded House. But you can't argue, if nothing else, Crowded House commercially was much bigger than Split Ends.
I feel like they're a better band, but yeah.
I totally agree. Crowded House is one of my favorite bands of the 80s and 90s. Next up, Wilco and Sunvolt, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Great second act for both of Jay Farrar with Sunvolt and Jeff Tweedy with Wilco breaking up after they broke up from Uncle Tupelo. Then, of course, an obvious one is Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl
Yeah.
reinventing himself. One of the most amazing, probably, second acts ever to be the drummer for a band and then become the front man for a band that becomes, at one point, the biggest band on the planet.
That was an either or that I had for Kevin a while back on schizophrenic music was Foo Fighters or Nirvana, and we both agreed Foo Fighters.
I agree too. I their body of work is and we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The first two albums are legendary. All right, next up, Style Council. Obviously, you and I love Paul Weller. We
Yep.
love the Jam. I'm not saying Style Council was better than the Jam
Because they're not.
because they're not, but it was a good second act for Paul Weller. Very
Absolutely.
solid.
Yep.
I love. There's a couple of the songs get a little kitschy for me, but overall, I love Style Council. Then I have Megadeth. Of course, Dave Mustaine
Excellent.
jumps away from Metallica and starts his own thing and does a pretty good job with it. Then my next example was Ozzy, because Ozzy was a great second act. I mean, he was left for dead after Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
No one thought he was probably going to do anything else after the way things were trending and ended for him with Black Sabbath. So he goes on and has an amazing solo career. Rainbow, of course, with Richie Blackmore pulling
Excellent.
away from Deep Purple. A couple others here. Public Image Limited, Johnny Rotten leaving the Sex Pistols
Yeah.
and moving on to start or form Public Image. Then World Party, we talked about that a couple weeks ago with Carl Wallinger leaving the Waterboys, starting World Party. I love World Party.
Mm-hmm.
New Order, what an unbelievable second act, right? Joy Division is just starting to take off. Take off. Ian Curtis dies, and then they basically form a new band just without him. So instead of continuing to call it Joy Division, they changed the name to New Order.
Yeah.
Then we have both for the House Martins. We have Fat Boy Slim. He
Mhm.
was Norman Cook was the bass player for the House Martins,
Yep.
and he's had a pretty successful career on his own, sort of as a DJ type. Fat Boy Slim, and then the couple other members left and formed the Beautiful South, which is
Yeah.
a nice second act. So anyway, thought that was interesting. I went back and looked at that and thought that was a pretty cool little post that I did on that. But yeah, anybody that's listening, if you want to have some good sleeping material, there's a lot of articles out there. You could pull that up at night as you're laying in bed on your phone, and you'll be asleep in a few minutes, or
I
maybe not. Maybe you get excited and want to go listen to a bunch of music.
I tell you, I had many of those choices as either or for Kevin, and another one I put up there was Dokken and Lynch Mob. And I feel like a lot of times the second act, you could also do Camper Van Beethoven and Cracker.
Yep.
I think the second act sometimes is better than the because I'm far more of a Cracker fan than I am. Camper is iconic for what they did, but they were definitely goofier and yeah, just I don't get me wrong, I like it, but Cracker to me was just a fun, equally fun, but just a little bit more serious. And I felt like they were a tighter unit, definitely more approachable. So I think
Yeah.
sometimes the second act can be better than the first. Not always.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good point. I think I just saw that Cracker has, maybe it's been out for a while, but they have a retrospective out on vinyl now
they do.
covering
So
best of.
David Lowery just released a solo album.
Yeah.
There's a retrospective, and I think they're reissuing some of those Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven albums too. So it seems like David Lowery's getting pretty aggressive with the catalog, which is awesome. I think he's awesome. Yeah,
He's great. I've seen him actually speak briefly. My daughter graduated from the music business program at University of Georgia, and David Lowery helps run that program.
mm-hmm.
In fact, she had a class with him. He actually told his students he just wanted to be called Lowry, not Mr. Lowry, not Professor Lowry, just Lowry.
Yeah.
And she said he was super cool. The last day of class, I said, wait till the last day of class. But on the last day of class, here is, I forget which Camper Van Beethoven album, but I said, take it in and ask him if he'll sign it. And he did. He was like, yeah, sure. He probably doesn't get that a lot. He probably doesn't get many students bringing in Camper albums to
especially now,
sign,
especially now. Yeah, a lot of people don't
especially
even
now.
know who their professor is, and
Right.
yeah,
Right. No, that's it. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. So I watched him speak at the graduation. He spoke, and David Barbie,
oh,
formerly of Sugar,
very
also
nice.
spoke. I noticed that Yellow Racket had David Lowery in person, I think, in store.
They did, I think,
La-
last Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool. So
They've had
shout
Kelly.
out.
They've had Kelly Finnegan before. They've had David Lowery. They've had somebody else big too. It wasn't Hiskel Messenger, but it was somebody on that same level. And I'm like, man, he's getting, Ben's getting some great acts there. So props to them.
Let me know when that happens again. Someone like that, like a Kelly Finnegan, because I'll drive up to Chattanooga. For those that don't know, Yellow Racket Records record store in Chattanooga, great record store online. I just ordered a bunch of stuff from Yellow Racket recently. He also is following us on our other podcast, Final Four. So shout out for
Yeah.
him following us. Love that. So thank you. You said it's Ben, right? Ben is the
Yeah.
owner.
Ben is
Yeah.
the owner operator. Yeah. I'll dispel the mystery. All the great shows, they're always Saturday during college football season. It's really
Ah,
tough. That's why I didn't go see Kelly Finnegan because it was, I mean, I think it's LSU, Alabama, or somebody. I'm like, I can't do it because I've already seen Kelly 3 times. But yeah,
yeah. Well, if he brings Kelly back, I will drive up for that. That's pretty cool. All right. I was going to go through, we're going to do uncut. That's how we'll wrap up the show. But I want to do our top 10 singles, US, UK from October 95. So 30 years ago, as we wrap up the month of October, thought this would be cool. So here we go. I'll start as we always do with the UK top 10 records of October 1995. Number 10. Wow. Power of a Woman by Eternal. Have no idea.
Nope.
Never heard of the artist. Never heard the song.
Nope.
Number 9. Oh, I'd lie for you, and that's the truth. Meatloaf. I can't even listen to it. Can't even listen to it. Your wife loves Meatloaf though, right?
She does, and Kevin's gonna chastise you, but that's all right.
I just can't. I can't listen to it. Number 8. Love this song when it came out. Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio
Yep.
featuring LV. Great.
Mhm.
Number 7. I'm sure we know this song. I'm sure I know this song, but I couldn't even hum a line of it. Number 7 is Fantasy by Mariah Carey.
Yeah, you know it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Don't sing it. Let's leave it to Mariah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
Wouldn't even try, right?
No.
Oh gosh, this was a dreadful time for music. Number 6, When Love and Hate Collide, Def Leppard.
Yeah, it's a wretched time for them for sure, and that's so sad that that's on the. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
horrible. They need to really check themselves on. Yeah. All right.
It's not going to get better with number 5. Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to tell you.
All right.
Number 5, October of 1995, UK charts. You Are Not Alone, Michael Jackson. Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
I love Michael Jackson, but that song's terrible. All right. Number 4. Oh, you're going to love this. Misshapes / Sorted for Ease and Whiz by Pulp.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. How do you get Pulp and Mariah? Okay. All right.
Yep. Right. Okay. Number 3. Who the Blank is Alice by Smokey and Roy Chubby Brown. I don't even know who is this. And who the blank is Alice?
Wow.
I gotta go listen to this. I
We're
swear.
I'm definitely gonna bookmark this for sure to check out. Just the name alone, none of that makes sense. But yeah,
No, Smokey with Roy Chubby Brown. I can't even wrap my head around that. Okay, number 2. It doesn't get any better. Boombastic by Shaggy.
oh
That
my,
was a number 2 song in the UK for our
hey,
fans that
they
listen in the UK.
they have
Wow.
incredible diverse musical taste, but taste is well, it's subjective, and this is bad. This is
These are
really,
not
this is really bad.
These are not good. And then number 1, I do love this band, but I don't love everything by them, and they're pretty sappy at times. They're massive in the UK, and that's Simply Red. The song is Fairground. I don't remember. I'm sure I know this song because I listen to their best of sometimes. I love Simply Red. I
I
really
think
do.
Simply Red is very underrated, actually. That song, "I Keep Holding On," I love
Oh,
that. I love that song. Yeah,
Stars.
yeah,
Oh my
Stars
gosh.
is excellent. I think the two for me that at the time I just couldn't get into it. It was way too adult contemporary and loungy. Was Simply Red and Sade, and now I really like them both. So
Dude, I've never not liked Sade
I
ever. There's
I
not been a day in my life.
I did not love Sade back in the day, but yeah,
She's
she's amazing.
I love all of her stuff. Okay, the US top 10 records, October 1995. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now because I just sort of scanned up the list. It doesn't get any better on the US side.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
UK, you're going to feel a little bit redeemed here when you hear the US, and
Think
then we can
about
decide.
1995. How is this possible? Because there's some great music in 95.
Oh man. Okay, here we go. Number 10, I Can Love You Like That, all 4-1, with that being the number 4,
Oh,
all 4-1.
yeah.
Dreadful.
Boy bands. Yep. Yep.
Yep. Number 9.
Number
Number
9.
9. Broken Hearted by Brandy. I don't even remember that song.
I can handle some Brandy. Yeah.
She was, I mean, yeah.
She was very talented. Yep.
Number 8. This was not my favorite song by them, but not a terrible song. They had some good songs. Waterfalls by TLC. That's an iconic song.
TLC was great. Yep.
Number 7, As I Lay Me Down by Sophie B. Hawkins.
Oh, I did love me some Sophie B.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. that song's not coming to me, but I did love that album, so I'm sure I like it.
Gosh, this is just number 6. I I do have a special place in my heart for this band because of the EP they did before they got famous. That's Hootie and the Blowfish, but this song, number 6, Only Want to Be With You. I'd be fine if I never heard that song again the rest of my life.
Never been a fan.
Some of their other stuff's really good. Okay, number 5. This is another actually iconic song. Not my favorite song by him, but some of the other songs on this album were great. Number 5, Kiss from a Rose by Seal.
I literally had in the back of my mind for some reason Seal. I don't know why. I just should have said it. I was thinking it has to be Seal. Not I mean, if it was crazy, oh heck yeah, I'd love that song. But yeah, Kiss from a Rose, I just didn't love.
Too sugary, sappy. Okay, number 4. Boy, Michael Jackson, You Are Not Alone.
Ugh,
Killing it.
gosh. Yeah, he's killing it all right.
Yeah. Number 3, his sister, Janet Jackson, Runaway.
Solid song. I like that
Yeah.
song.
Number 2, Gangsta's Paradise, Coolio featuring LV.
Cool.
And number 1, Fantasy by Mariah Carey. Those are terrible lists. I mean,
Those
honestly.
are not good lists. I mean,
No.
I'm having to dig to it's not all horrible. It's just as a whole, I'm like, what were we thinking? How is that what charted?
It's not all horrible, but I would say 70% of it was.
Was really bad. Yeah.
Really bad. Wow. Okay.
All right, let's redeem ourselves with some uncut, shall we?
Let's redeem ourselves with some uncut, Craig. I have magazine in hand for those that may be new to the podcast. We take this magazine, it's Uncut Magazine, 500 greatest albums of the 1990s. Craig randomly selects a number, then he checks it off the list so we'd never return to it, but we just see if we know who it is. This is our wheelhouse in the 90s. Uncut Magazine, of course, a great UK music magazine. We've been surprised. There's a lot of stuff in this that we don't know. If we hear one we don't know, we just go next and move on. Okay, ready.
226.
Oh, I actually own this, but I can't remember any song off of this, but I do love this band and their early stuff. Aztec Camera, Stray.
Yeah, good stuff. I couldn't tell you a single song on that album.
No.
But it reminds me I need to go back and listen to it because at one point I had 2 or 3 of their CDs and I really liked them.
Really?
Great band.
Really enjoyed them. Yeah. I went through a phase back in early 2000s where I listened to a lot of Aztec Camera. Really liked them a lot for that sort of folky power pop type sound, Brit pop sound that they had.
Definitely had a kind of it's a dated vibe, but a good vibe. I like it. Good
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah. All right.
What about 217?
Oh, you hate this album, but you love this band. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. We've talked about it before.
You know, I hate the album only because I love the first 2 albums so much.
Yes.
This is the album that they get so much accolades for. And it's just one of those bands that didn't need to put out a double album. They could have pared that down to an absolute masterpiece, but instead they muddled the mix with so much material that to me it diluted. For one, I never loved the Rat in a Cage, whatever. I can't even. I never liked that song. There are songs on this album on both sides that I really, really like. But when you're really stretching and you come out with a song called They Only Come Out at Night, and it's just, God, it was god awful. And he didn't have to. It was a concept. And to me, at that point, it was a band that just kept trying to evolve when they didn't have to evolve that much. And they just ran amok. That's just my thing. That's my take.
Yeah. I think we all were hoping for a Siamese Dream too, with some evolution,
right?
Something closer to that, because that's almost perfect record. Honestly, Siamese Dream
it's amazing.
It is one of the best. And if that comes up on our Vinyl 4 podcast, and I'm sure it will, I'm sure that's in the top 500. That's going to be a front runner to make it a long way. for both of
I'm
them.
a huge Gish guy, I will admit,
Yeah.
because I actually discovered them. I was happy. Our claim to fame back in the day was, did you have the Hut recording version or did you have Caroline? Because it was originally on Caroline,
Oh, yeah.
and I had the Caroline edition. I'm like, I didn't know that was the thing. He's, yeah, they moved it to a different label. Um, yeah, I love that band. But Siamese Dream was, to me, the evolution that needed to happen. And wow, I mean, it is just from start to finish because it's beautiful and it's heavy, but it doesn't get too heavy. And it felt like,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
That's what I loved about it, though, and we'll move on. But I loved Billy Corgan's voice with the just all out assault of guitars. It was like it was truly a wall of sound,
Right.
but then he had this voice that was so just beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no other way to put it. Did Butch Vig produce Siamese Dream?
He,
Who pro
I think he produced Gish. I don't know. Did he produce?
I'm gonna look it up. We'll go on to the next one here, but, I'm gonna look it up because it's gonna bug me now. Um,
All
I
right.
I feel okay, I'm ready.
Let's go with 185.
Okay. Absolutely no idea who this is. The band is called Evil Superstars. The
Mm-mm.
album is called Boogie Children, and the description, have you heard of it, by the way?
Nope.
Okay, I haven't either. Yeah, it was, by the way, Siamese Dream was Butch Vig. Gosh, that guy was on he
Yeah.
was on a roll with Nevermind and then that. Okay, it says cranky Belgian alt rock, smacking heavily of the warped US indie rock of Pavement and Sabado. Is it Sabado? Sebado.
Sebado. Yeah.
Sebado, yeah.
That's cool. I might like
Yeah,
that.
so band is called Evil Superstars. All right, we'll
Okay.
go next.
Let's do 174.
Okay, 174, Hypnotics, and it's the Thee.
Mm-hmm.
Album's called Soul, Glitter, and Sin.
Yep.
Soul, Glitter, and Sin. You're familiar with them?
Yeah, I checked them out, and I got to say, nothing really stood out to me. It's one of those bands that was compared to other acts that I like. I want to feel like they were kind of a cross between shoegaze and psychedelic, very psychedelic. Um,
Yeah.
I nothing really stood out to me, but it's been years since I listened to it.
This is a funny description. I'll read this for you and for everyone else. If Hawkwind recruited the Blues Brothers band and had all their antipsychotic medications, they might come close to emulating the sprawling psychedelic tumult of the Hypnotics.
Wow.
Third, brassy, swampy, and acid deep fried. Well, there you go. I
Wow.
might pass on that one, but
I think maybe I didn't take my drugs that day.
yeah. What a description. Okay, I'm ready.
I love the description. All right. What about 144?
Oh yeah, the Charlatans, self-titled The Charlatans, the Black Album
Oh, good stuff.
with the four heads, the
Yep.
four, yeah. I love the Charlatans, and I don't listen to them enough, but every time I go back and listen to them, those albums in the late '80s, early to mid '90s were all really good.
Yeah. They surpassed that album. Of course, they got better than that, but that's a great album.
Yeah.
What about 129?
Never, ever, ever, and so many people love her, and they put her in their top 10 all-time, top 10 greatest female artist. Bjork. I've just never been a fan, and the album's called Debut. I never got into Sugar Cubes, never got into Bjork.
Um, Maybe try to revisit it. It's quirky for sure. I think her solo stuff, especially debut and post, I think once she got beyond that, she got even more experimental. She gets really, really experimental. Um, Really, really good album. I probably like debut and post. I haven't really dug beyond that. I should, because I think some of her more recent stuff is actually more critically acclaimed because she's definitely evolved. But I definitely like those first two solo albums better than the Sugar Cubes. And I thought Sugar Cubes were okay. I didn't love them, but
No.
I still think Human Behavior is just a phenomenal song. It was just so different for the time, and you could tell where her evolution was going to go. So I
All
recommend
right.
it.
I'll give it a spin. All right. You want to do a couple more?
Yeah, I think we got what, four more?
Yeah. Sounds right.
78.
All right. 78. All right. Stereolab, Emperor Tomato Ketchup.
Good stuff. I
Yeah.
could not tell you. I mean, I'm going to be honest. And to me, this is a good thing because I feel like they have a vibe, and that vibe carries over from album to album to album.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what Stereolab album. I couldn't distinguish one from the other, and I couldn't tell you which one's better than the next one. But I know that is a great album because I like all their stuff. So,
Yeah. I, it's kind of like High Llamas for me.
yeah, I can
I've
see that.
always categorized them together, and it's the same thing. I really like listening to High Llamas, but I can't really differentiate between the records. So,
Yep.
yeah, I'm with you. All right.
All right, I'm gonna skip back a little bit. What about 133?
133. This is an album that everyone references, and I've never listened to this record. DJ Shadow, Introducing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
Is it?
you would really enjoy that. Ask Kevin about that record. That was one of his. He's doing his exploration of the top hip hop albums,
Mhm.
um, and that's definitely on that. That's got to be pretty deep too. I would imagine that's potentially top 10, top 20. Great album.
All right.
That's
Yep, I need to
I
check it
think
out.
you
I
would
love
really
the
a lot of it. I've got to go back and listen to it, but I think that's the type of hip hop album that you would really enjoy.
yeah, a lot of samples. Yeah, I
Oh,
love the album cover. I've always loved that album cover, the, record, record crate digging, whatever. Okay.
two more. All right, 55.
All right. Blur, 13.
Love that album.
Yep.
Tender. That song is so great. Tender was the anyway. Shouldn't sing.
I knew we'd get you to sing at some point on this
Yeah,
episode.
I love that album. People don't. I think people when they listen to the self-titled Blur album because of song number two, the big one, woohoo, um, put them on the map, and really people started to pay attention to them. Even though the album prior, a couple albums prior to that, Park Life was just brilliant, and yeah, girls and boys, but like song number two really put them in a different stratosphere. But I think a lot of people were probably confused by that self-titled album because you had you had songs on there that was just so just delectably power poppy and Beatlesque, and you had other songs that was just spastic.
Yeah.
You cannot predict what Blur and Damon Albarn are going to do. And that's what I love about it. And I feel like 13, like there's a song called Battle that's just so cool. It's it's almost like electronic, and there's just this pulsating bass, and he just all the entire song is just the word battle over, and it is so cool. I love 13. That's up there as probably one of my favorite Blur albums because it was just so different. I love that band. I adore that band. Highly, highly, highly recommended.
I need to go back and listen to it. It's been a long time, and it didn't grab me. I've never been as big a Blur fan as you, but I need to give that another go. All right.
All right, here we go. 21.
Ooh. All right. 21.
Lucky number.
Yeah. Pavement, Slanted and Enchanted.
Man, I'm going to disappoint people. I don't love that album. I honestly, that album put them on the map. It's seen as a slack rock classic. It just, man, it just doesn't do anything for me compared to Crooked Rain, Wowie Zowie. I mean, just they did so much more, but Bright in the Corners is like probably my favorite album from them. But if you compare Slanted and Enchanted to Crooked Rain, there's no comparison. It's just so much better. But I am definitely in the minority. That is seen as like it's the same thing with a band called Archers of Loaf. I love VV. A lot of people love Icky Metal. Icky Metal's great. I do like that album, but I'm more of a VV guy, and just like that with Pavement, I'm more of a Crooked Rain guy.
It's probably my favorite album by Pavement. So it goes to show you, but I'm not as big a fan of Pavement as you are. Zurich is Stained is probably my favorite. It is my favorite Pavement song.
Yeah.
I love that song. So that's probably been my favorite album through the years, but I don't listen to Pavement that often. I have to be in the right mood for Pavement, but
Yeah,
they're
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 talented.
they're hit or miss. Nobody was doing things quite like them. Like I said, I mentioned
Yeah.
Archers of Loaf. I think they were an inspiration to Archers of Loaf. Archers just took it to a heavier, a little bit
Yeah.
heavier, more spastic in some ways. Never got a chance to see Pavement, but I did see Archers, so it would been nice to have seen him. But yeah,
All right. Well, that's a wrap on the Uncut, and that's also a wrap on this episode of Revinyl. So, when the next episode next week, we're going to come back and we're going to do the top 25 albums of the first 25 years of the 21st century. And what we're going to do, we're going to divide it up into 3 episodes. Next week, we're going to do it in order of our favorites, both of us. And I think our lists are going to be completely different. When I was writing out my list, I thought
definitely.
my list looks completely different, I bet, from Craig's, which I love. I think we'll have a couple that are probably, it'll be interesting. I'm going to give over under, I think 4.5 on matching albums out of the top 25.
I was going to say 5 or 6, so that's about.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
My,
But I think, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say mine's definitely personal, but I also went with most impactful to me.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I
Same.
went for impactful moments. Like I can think of when I first heard that and just jaw dropped.
Yeah.
So 2 reasons: I'm happy to revisit that experience, and 2, I'm happy to dive into that because I feel like this podcast sometimes can be geared towards people our age, and we have a tendency to be old school and we go back to the 90s and maybe 2000s, but it's usually 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever. And that's great. That's good. But I'm always searching for something new. I'm always trying to find that experience when, when you first hear a song and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I love this band."
Yeah.
There's nothing better to me than hearing something and just all of a sudden nothing else matters. It's just
Yep.
what you're listening to, and that's what most of these albums are for me.
I've written out my list and I've got to go back and now order it and refine it because I think I'm just over 25. But I was amazed when I did my list how many great albums there have been in the last 25 years. I mean,
Absolutely.
great albums that some of these would be in my top. There'd be a couple of these that would make my top 25 all time. That's how good. There's a couple albums as we
Absolutely.
get to that's why I think it'll be so special on that third episode to just do 5 through 1, because those are the ones that we're going to talk about a little bit more and that we're the most passionate about.
Right.
Man, I actually am going to I know you've already numbered yours. I'm going to have a hard time from 10 to 1, I think, with my list.
I feel like once you get into that top 5, it's really hard, really the top 10. But beyond that, a lot of that stuff could be anywhere. So
Yeah.
it's really like what you feel at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I was looking at it, I was like, wow, this was like, it's been a really, really, really good era.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are going to be surprised by some of the stuff, and then they're going to go back and go, "Oh man, I haven't heard that in a while." And then you go back and listen to that album, you realize, "Holy crap, that
Yeah.
was as good as it was then. It's still that good now."
That's right. So do not miss the next 3 episodes, y'all, because whether it ends up being, there's going to be 50 albums total, but probably let's just say 45 of them will be unique.
Yeah,
And I'm telling you, they are all incredible records. And there's some that most people have never heard. The average music fan has never probably listened to before. I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Also, check out our other podcast, The Vinyl 4, and we will talk to you next week. Thank you.